Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I offer my humble obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet. Before reciting Srimad Bhagvatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author of Srimad Bhagvatam. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu yam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktira bhavati naistiki. By regular attendance in the classes on Srimad Bhagvatam, and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, dear Vaishnavas, thank you so much for joining. We are reading Grantha Srimad Bhagvatam, Canto 7, Chapter 3, Hiranyakashipu's plan to become immortal. So we'll start with the summary.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances offered to Srila Prabhupada. Chapter 3, Hiranyakashipu's plan to become immortal. This chapter describes how Hiranyakashipu performed a severe type of austerity for material benefit, thus causing great distress throughout the universe. Even Lord Brahma, the chief personality within this universe, became somewhat disturbed and personally went to see why Hiranyakashipu was engaged in such a severe austerity. Hiranyakashipu wanted to become immortal. He wanted not to be conquered by anyone, not to be attacked by old age and disease, and not to be harassed by any opponent. Thus he wanted to become the absolute ruler of the entire universe. With this desire, he entered the valley of Mandar mountain and began practicing a severe type of austerity in meditation. Seeing Hiranyakashipu engaged in this austerity, the demigods returned to their respective homes. But while Hiranyakashipu was thus engaged, a kind of fire began blazing from his head, disturbing the entire universe and its inhabitants, including the birds, beasts, and demigods. When all the higher and lower planets became too hot to live on, the demigods, being disturbed, left their abodes in the higher planets and went to see Lord Brahma, praying to him that he curtail this unnecessary heat. The demigods disclosed to Lord Brahma Hiranyakashipu's ambition to become immortal, overcoming his short duration of life, and to be the master of all the planetary systems, even Dhruvaloka. Upon hearing about the purpose of Hiranyakashipu's austere meditation, Lord Brahma, accompanied by the great sage Bhrigu and great personalities like Daksha, went to see Hiranyakashipu. He then sprinkled water from his kamandalu, a type of water pot, upon Hiranyakashipu's head. Hiranyakashipu, the king of Daityas, bowed down before Lord Brahma, the creator of this universe, offering respectful obeisances again and again and offering prayers. When Lord Brahma agreed to give him benedictions, he prayed not to be killed by any living entity, not to be killed in any place, covered or uncovered, not to die in the daytime or at night, not to be killed by any weapon on land or in the air, and not to be killed by any human being, animal, demigod, or any other entity, living or non-living. He further prayed for supremacy over the entire universe and requested the 8 yogic perfections such as anima and lagima.
Hare Krishna, thank you. So it's so interesting that Hiranyakashipu spoke such erudite philosophy in the last chapter, trying to pacify his relatives that body is temporary and body has to die and the soul is eternal, but yet he wants to do tapasya to become immortal, and that's what the whole chapter is entitled, his plan to become immortal. So knowing is one thing, and realizing and following is the other. So Hiranyakashipu knew very well the body and the soul difference, and that soul is immortal and body is mortal, but still he wants to become immortal. So let's see. This is just a summary. We'll go in detail. Let's start with text number 1. Would someone like to read?
I can start.
Yes, Prabhu, please.
Thank you. Hare Krishna devotees. Text 1. Okay, yeah. Sri Narada Uvacha Hiranyakashipu Rajan Ajayam Ajaram Maram Atmanam Apradi Vandavam Eka Rajam Vayadhitsata. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Narad Muni said to Maharaj Yudhishthira, the demoniac king Hiranyakashipu wanted to be unconquerable and free from old age and dwindling of the body. He wanted to gain all the yogic perfections like anima and lagima, to be deathless and to be the only king of the entire universe, including Brahmaloka. Purport. Such are the goals of the austerities performed by demons. Hiranyakashipu wanted to receive a benediction from Lord Brahma, so that in the future he would be able to conquer Lord Brahma's abode. Similarly, another demon received a benediction from Lord Shiva, but later wanted to kill Lord Shiva through that same benediction. Thus, self-interested persons by demoniac austerities want to kill even their benedictors, whereas the Vaishnava wants to remain an ever-existing servant of the Lord and never to occupy the post of the Lord. Through Sayujya mukthi, which is generally demanded by asuras, one merges into the existence of the Lord. But although one sometimes thus achieves the goal of the theory of monism, one falls down again to struggle in material existence. Hare Krishna. So this purport, first one in this chapter, Narad Muni is talking to Maharaj Yudhishthira and explaining what king the demon Hiranyakashipu wanted to, why he was doing this benediction. So he wanted to become the conqueror of the whole universe and rule the whole universe. So in spite of talking all the philosophy in the last chapter, here he's showing his real intent. So he wanted to conquer the whole universe. And so the other thing this purport is showing is that the difference between the hidden agenda of a demoniac, a demon, versus a Vaishnava. Vaishnava never wants to, he remains very humbly at the lotus feet of the Lord, and he has no interest in getting anything from the Lord, but he just wants to serve him. The demoniac person, on the other hand, wants to usurp all the power and rule over everyone. Thank you, Prabhu. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. So, Narad Muni is again starting with a fresh conversation to Yudhishthira Maharaj. So the scene is changing now. The relatives have been pacified and the last rites for Hiranyaksha has been done. Now the scene changes too. So, two very important points: that demoniac people worship the demigods for self-interest, and then they later want to enjoy or kill them itself. Bhasmasur's example is given, who got the benediction that on whosever head I put my hand upon will be burned to ashes. And then he ran after Lord Shiva so that he could enjoy Mother Parvati. So that is demoniac. Demonic people use the resources or the energies given by the demigods for selfish purposes and often trying to harm them. But Vaishnavas don't do. So Vaishnavas approach the Supreme Lord even if they have desire, akama sarva kamova. We have discussed that even if one all desires, no desires, or desires for liberation, one should approach Krishna. But we don't see practically any situation where they want to where demigods approach Vishnu or devotees approach Vishnu and then they want to harm Vishnu. That's not seen. There may be certain instances where Lord Vishnu wants to curb the pride, but in general those instances are not seen. And one very important point, those who try to approach the monism, that's the impersonalism, that I'll be one with the Lord, I'll be one with the light and merge with the Brahma Jyoti. What happens to them? They fall down again. Where? To this material world, material existence. So that's not a very sane idea. Okay, let's read the next verse.
Yes, Prabhuji, what the anima and lagima?
Yes, it's so there are 8 mystic perfections, lighter than the lightest, smaller than the smallest, bigger than the biggest. I'm exactly not sure. Laghi means smaller than the smallest, I believe. Someone can correct if that's not true. So there are 8 such perfections, and then one is prapti, like one can get anything what I want, or I want to get a mango from the farms of Nasik. I'll get a mango in my hand if I have that siddhi, but unfortunately I don't have. But devotees don't aspire for such siddhis, although great devotees like Narada, Hanuman, we see in Hanuman Chalisa, ashtasidhis, that word comes. So he had those siddhis. Narad Muni, certainly they have siddhis, but they don't display those. This is a natural outcome of pure devotion. Pure devotion is much higher. So these siddhis are basically, as I said, lighter than the lightest, smaller than the smallest, heavier than the heaviest, prapti, etc.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Krishna Prabhuji, I just looked it up. Sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
Yeah, so anima is, like you said, Prabhuji, smaller than the smallest, reducing one's body even to the size of an atom. And lagima is becoming almost weightless.
Yeah, okay.
So lighter than the lightest.
Nice.
Okay.
So then now we can remember easily anu. Anu means atom. Andantarastha paramanu chayantarastam. So that's how we can remember in future. Anu means atom. Laghu also means very, very small, or Laghu Bhagavatamrita. So that means it's a drop. So light. So lighter than the lightest. Just a way to remember. Okay, thank you for checking that, Prabhu.
Prabhu, this is Vikan, Prabhu. Prabhu, what is this Sayujya mukthi? Can you explain a little bit, Prabhu?
Yes, sure. Very nice question. There are 5 types of mukti or liberation. So, Salokya, Samipya, Sarupya, Sarshti, and Sayujya. So Sayujya, Sa means same, Yuj means to become one, to become one with the Lord, or to become one with that Supreme, to basically become one. Or monism, impersonalism. They don't believe in the personal form in the Lord. They believe, there is one light, and at the end of one's life, with one perfect one life, one will become one with Narayana. And therefore in the Mayavadi philosophers, they hold one danda. The sannyasi danda, the Mayavadi says, and then they say, Om Narayana Nama. So they say that danda dharyena matrena nar Narayan bhavet. That after becoming a sannyasi, or realized. Right now we are not perfect, so we don't realize we are God. But they say once you become little perfect by this process of whatever their rules and regulations they have, you will become God. Narayan Bhavik. And therefore they say oneness. I am one with the Lord. So that is referring to Sayujya Mukti. And what is their destination? Their destination is the impersonal light of the Supreme Lord. Like the sun rays. Sun rays are the effulgence of the sun. Similarly, the Brahma Jyoti is the energy of the Supreme Lord, who is the supreme energetic. So, impersonalists or the followers of the monistic philosophy or Mayavadis, all referring to the same thing, they follow this process and their goal is Sayujya Mukti. But what happens next? Prabhupada is clearly mentioning that they fall down again. Where? Back to material world. Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, again in the wombs of millions of mothers. But a devotee does not aspire for any kind of mukti. A devotee only aspires for devotional service. Janmani Janmanishwari Bhavatad Bhaktir Ahetuki Tvai. Ahetuki Bhakti, unalloyed devotion, birth after birth. And the destination for such a devotee is spiritual world, which has unlimited spiritual planets. Planet for Vishnu Loka, Lord Ramachandra, Lord Varaha, Lord Narsimha, etc. And the topmost amongst them is Goloka Vrindavan. So as followers of Gaudiya Vaishnavism is the where the highest love of Krishna is available. So that's our destination is when we say, often you have heard or read the word back to home, back to Godhead, we are referring to Golok Vrindavan. That's the topmost destination. Does that help?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Haribo.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. You explained nicely everything. I just want to make one or two more points in that. As far as the siddhis are concerned, as we know, in India there are many yogis who acquired the siddhi. Sai Baba, I had to give the name. They give some dust and then turn into gold. So that is kind of siddhi. Or there is another ma called whatever ma it is. Someone who she hugs everybody and then they remove. So these are remove their disease or whatever their anxiety. So these are all the siddhis many have acquired in India. You can find many yogis during this mela in Allahabad or in other places. There are yogis who are living in the Himalayas. They acquire the siddhis and they come in 5 minutes all the way from Himalayas to the Allahabad and Triveni. So these are all the siddhis, and Srila Prabhupada mentions all this. So Srila Prabhupada was also asked, what is your mystic power? What is your mystic power? Srila Prabhupada is showing to all the devotees sitting to him and said, this is the mystic power by the mercy of my Guru Maharaj, that they have changed their lives. So as Suvilas mentioned, devotees are not interested, and Srila Prabhupada had a mystic. Srila Prabhupada had a mystic siddhis. He had it, and many times he was not able to control, and he had done it. For example, when he was walking, devotees would see that he doesn't look like he was walking on the ground, putting his feet in the walking. And 75 years old man was going so faster than the young devotees who were 18, 19, 20 years old. When it happened in London, when they were opening the temple, I'm sorry I'm going on, but it's important to hear. In London, when the temple was opening and the altar was not fixed properly, and the altar was going to fall on the deity of Radha Landaneshwar, and he just went there and put with his hand up to protect. And now remember, 75 years old man is doing that. So these are all the siddhis which is devotees have also acquired, but devotees are not interested in that. As well as mentioned, mainly we are interested in going back and having establish our loving relationship with the Lord. That is the main point. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. So it's a very good point that even if we come across someone, there may be certain people in present day also who may have siddhis. I have not seen them face to face, but I have heard from others. So one should not be overwhelmed by their display of those siddhis. Oh, that Babaji can bring a laddu from Tirupati. And as a real story I've heard, there may be there. So what's the big deal? So the real big deal is to, as Prabhuji mentioned, that purifying our existence, to be hippies to happies. That's the real magic, which only a pure devotee like Prabhupada can do. So, okay. Let's read the next verse. Would someone like to read text 2, please?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. I would like to read text 2.
Yes.
Sa tepe mandara dronayam tapaha parama darunam urdhva bahur nabho drishtihi padangushtha-stritavanihi. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Here Narada Muni is narrating to Yudhishthira Maharaj that in the valley of Mandar Hill, Hiranyakashipu began performing his austerities by standing with his toes on the ground, keeping his arms upward and looking toward the sky. This position was extremely difficult, but he accepted it as a means to attain perfection. So here the translation. Hiranyakashipu is how he started his severe austerity in the Mandara hill. That is explained, and his arms are upwards and towards the sky, and toes in the ground, and the position what he is narrating is extremely difficult. Back to you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. So, very straightforward. He started doing this tapasya, and I think I recall this word Mandara Hill coming in Canto 5. I don't exactly remember which Varsha, which Dvipa it comes in, or which Mandala, but I recall this word Mandara Hill came when we were talking about the Bhagavad cosmology. So if someone is interested, can look where Hiranyakashipu specifically went to.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes,
it looks like Hiranyakashipu already attained siddhis. Otherwise, how it is possible to standing on toes and in that position?
Yes, we generally what happens, we look from our perspective. So this is different yuga, different body, different powers. So he had certain powers. He was not an ordinary person. Keeping in mind he was the brother of Hiranyaksha. So, but he wanted to further expand his power, because the goal was to take revenge of Hiranyakashipu's Hiranyaksha's death. If you remember, in the last chapter we read, he ordered everyone else, you go and cause havoc in the places, destroy brahmanas, destroy cows, destroy the yagya, etc., and I will take care of Vishnu. But he knows that for doing that he needs more power. So it's a bigger test So that's what, he was already powerful, who had such a big demoniac army, who could destroy so much, but now he wants to get more power and become further more powerful and basically become immortal. That was his goal. That's the chapter's title. So he was not, from our frame of reference, it may seem that is it possible to stand on, do this austerities, and we will read later for how long he did that austerity. So he had those power, he had that determination. So we can see the positives in this also. That one is doing, demonic people doing austerity to attain powers to kill the same person who they attain the power from. But we can also perform little austerities like getting up early, controlling our mind and senses, following the regulative principles, etc. Dhruv Maharaj also did austerity, very harsh austerity, but it was for a higher cause. So austerity is not bad, depending upon time and situation. Satyuga austerity is different, Kalyuga austerity is different. So our austerity is following the instructions of Prabhupada, chanting, reading, hearing, Ekadashi Vrata, other Vratas, and no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex, etc. That will please Krishna. So back to your question, does that make sense? That he already had powers.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare
Yes.
So Mandara mountain word comes from, it was used as a churning rod. It's in the center of the universe on the top of the Meru mountain, or its position is next to Meru mountain. Either way you can perceive. That's how the references come in Canto 2nd and Canto 5th. Back to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji, so much for looking that.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. That was exactly my question. Like, it's the same mountain that was used for the churning rod during the Samudra Manthan. My question is, this pastime take place before Hiranyakashipu started his meditation, or is there any time reference regarding that? Back to you, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
So this, you asked, this happened before his meditation? Like,
I just wanted to know, like, is there any chronology, like, which happened first?
Mm-hmm. So whatever we have read so far, Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha was killed first. And these brothers were already very powerful. It's not that now, had they done some austerities in the past? Probably yes. It's not mentioned here in Bhagavatam, but they had special powers. They were born in that demoniac family, and what happened? Did they do some austerity in the past? Probably yes. And if we see the life of Ravana and Kumbhakarna, they also did austerities, and they used to continually perform different yagyas, different tantric yagyas, etc., to get more powers. Even before going to war, they will perform more yagyas. You know the famous story of Meghnad, who wanted to perform yagya to kill Lakshmana, and then they had to intervene, etc. So they were continually performing. But this austerity, specifically where he wanted to become immortal, so looks like this is happening after Hiranyakashipu's death, Hiranyaksha's death, and after he pacified, because then he wanted to kill, as I mentioned before. He sent his demoniac people to kill the other people, the brahmanas, cows, etc., and he wanted to get more power to kill Vishnu, and that's how he comes to this place to do austerity. Does that align with your question? Okay. Nandini Mataji, you wanted to share something?
Yes, Prabhu. There is a lineage also of Kashyapa Muni somewhere, and so Hiranyakashipu, I appreciate, in addition to what you said, so which is perfectly right. The timeline is that Brahma is one of the great grandfathers, and after Hiranyaksha is killed, he's already married to Kayadu, and right after he is killed, he just a little bit later, after Varadevas appeared and saved the earth, just a little time later he goes to do this austerity. So timeline wise, probably in less than a year. And regarding yoga question you asked, the other Prabhu asked a little bit earlier, Prabhu, it's easy to do this, even to stand on the toes on the ground. Even a veteran yogi in this world in Kali Yuga can do it for hours, this position. So it's not that difficult to do this standing position. Once you practice, you can practice your body to do so. And like Shubhavilas Prabhu said, it's a different yoga, and people used to already have different bodies. And again, they are sons of Kashyapa Muni, so they're also living on different planets. Back to you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji. Would you like to read the next verse?
Prabhu. Text 3. Jatadhi dhiti vi reje samvartaka ivanshu bhi tasminsta pastatyamane devastanani dejire. From the hair on Hiranyakashipu's head, there emanated an effulgent light as brilliant and intolerable as the rays of the sun at the time of dissolution. Seeing the performance of such austere penances, the demigods who had been wandering throughout the planets now returned to their respective homes. So this is global warming happening from the back of Hiranyakashipu's head, and effulgent light is coming out. So Prabhupada says somewhere else in Bhagavad Gita that the soul is covered and it is as brilliant as millions of moons. So this is very important. This is very interesting to see that how Hiranyakashipu is just doing his austerities, and his toes are on. The position is difficult, but it is a simple austerity, not compared to the austerities of Dhruva Maharaj. The beginning may be just a simple one, and we see the light coming out. It's just that's it. Please correct if I spoke something wrong. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. In the Bhagavatam, there is a wonderful picture which I have shared on the group also, which shows Hiranyakashipu's posture. He was standing on his toes, arms raised, looking towards the sky, the great effulgence like the sun. So very graphic description, and how he is in the valley of Mandara mountain. That's also the valley. The word used is Drona, like two mountains make a cup kind of thing. So Drona also means cup, so he's in the valley of Mandara mountain. Everything is clearly seen there. Very nice picture. Okay, let's read the next verse. Would someone like to read text 4, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can I read?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranams. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Text 4. Tasya murdhanaha samudbhutaha sadhuma agnistapamayam triyag urdham adholokan pratapadvishvak tirthaham. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Because of Hiranyakashipu's severe austerities, fire came from his head, and this fire spread throughout the sky, encompassing the upper and lower planets, which all became extremely hot. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. I think it's very straightforward, and the picture also shows that very, very graphically, that the whole upper and lower planets were encompassed with this fire, and all the demigods started to run in their respective homes because of this fire. Let's see what happens next. Would someone like to read text 5?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I can read.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Chakshur Nadi Udanvantah Sadvipadrish Chachalabhu Nepetu Sagrahastara Jajwalushcha Dishodasa Dasha. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Because of the power of severe austerities, all the rivers and oceans were agitated. The surface of the globe, with its mountains and islands, began trembling, and the stars and planets fell. All directions were ablaze. Over to you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. It's so interesting that Srimad Bhagvatam, explains the details. It is not just, okay, the whole world was in turmoil. And move on. Hare Krishna, someone's phone is not on mute. I request to please keep on mute when you're not speaking. So, Srimad Bhagavatam is giving the details, how the situation was. It's not just, okay, there was, havoc everywhere and just move on. Like how the rivers were agitated, how the stars and planets were agitated, and everywhere, the upper planets, lower planets, the demigods, everyone was disturbed. The mountain, the island, etc. Basically, the entire globe was disturbed because of his severe austerities. So now the question may come, well, why so many details are referred? Sometimes why a lot of names are referred. Oh, this king married this queen, and then they had 4 children, and then they had 3 children, and then 2 girls and two daughters, and then 1 son, and son got married to this, and wife got this, and why sometimes so much detail? So Sadhana Swami Maharaj answered this question. I think number 1, they are important personalities, they are important, and the number 2, which is more important reason, is that details help us to understand the situation better, and very, very important point, they add authenticity to this whole. It is not, if I would say, oh, a person got, a king got married to a queen, and then they had a son who was very nice devotee, and then he did tapasya and he went back home, back to God. That story is nice, but not very interesting. But when I say, oh, there was a king Uttanpad, he had 2 wives. One was Sunuti, one was Suruchi. Suruchi did this to Dhruva, and then Uttanpad didn't support, and Dhruva went to forest. So it is not some mythological story, but this adds authenticity to Srimad Bhagavatam. So all these graphic details, which is spoken by Narad Muni and Srimad Vyasadeva, it adds authenticity, number 1, plus also helps us to understand the whole situation, that what kind of personality Hiranyakashipu was. Imagine the whole world was disturbed. When Lord wants to fight, he wants to fight with this kind of devotee who have extraordinary power. Often people say, well, why does Lord does not come to kill this corona or things like that? Right? Tiny things. So just to add detail, just to help us understand. And so many wonderful devotees have given these pictures which basically take us to that Mandara hill, and as if we can see Hiranyakashipu doing that tapasya, and the whole world is troubled because of it. Okay, let's see what happens next. Text number 6. Would someone like to read, please?
I can read, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam to everyone. Text 6. Tena tapta divam tvaktva brahmalokam yuyusura dhatre vidya vayam asura deva jagatpate Daitendra tapasa tapta divi thastum na shaknumaha. Translation by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Scorched and extremely disturbed because of Hiranyakashipu's severe penance, all the demigods left the planets where they reside and went to the planet of Lord Brahma, where they informed the Creator as follows. O Lord of the demigods, O Master of the universe, because of the fire emanating from Hiranyakashipu's head, as a result of his severe austerities, we have become so disturbed that we could not stay in our planets but have come to you. So he's here, you can see is very straightforward because of his austerity. This fire was so powerful, even it was disturbing the demigods. And again, all the demigods, they left it and they go back to the Lord Brahma, who is the creator. And then they are basically informing the Lord Brahma that this is what is happening, and basically, please take care of this. And looks like that's where probably we're going to learn next. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yes. I think there's a deeper lesson also for aspiring sadhakas and everyone. The lesson here is that whenever we are in difficulty or even otherwise, we must approach bona fide guidance, Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. And of course, Lord Brahma is a bona fide teacher. He is a Mahajan. He is the chief engineer. He is a great devotee. He is kind of the teachers and the father of demigods. So approaching higher authorities, will always lead to benefit, will always help us in material life, in spiritual life, in reversals, in ups and downs in life. When we approach, often, I have realized this thing, that it's not that they will tell something, or they may not tell something which you may not have heard before. For example, the body and soul knowledge. In a time of difficulty, if we approach a senior Vaishnava, they may sometimes repeat the same thing. But at that time, hearing from them has a very profound effect. That's at least my experience. When we take a lower position and approach the higher authority, and we hear from them, whether it's the same thing or a new thing or whatever guidance they give, basically Krishna speaks through them, and it has a very deep effect in our disturbed situation. So when difficulties arise, when situations get challenging, or even otherwise, we must approach higher authorities. Demigods are showing that by their example. And this is not the first time they're showing this. They do that a lot. Last chapter also, last canto also, we read many times this pattern is observed, that they always approach Lord Brahma, and sometimes Lord Brahma say, okay, this is too much, let's approach Lord Vishnu. Okay, any other comments, questions?
Hare Krishna, this is Raghunandan Das. The another point that we can take from this verse is the material existence has disturbances. Nothing goes smooth for eternally. Oh, your life is so fine, and I'm having a good time, and no disturbances, nothing. It doesn't go on forever like that. Immediately, there is some disturbance, there is misery, there is suffering, even though one doesn't go looking for it. So, and then we can see the consciousness, even like these demigods are very elevated personalities, and they are also devotees of the Supreme Lord, but they might not be on the pure devotional platform. But even a tinge of material consumption or a sense enjoyment is there, then any disturbance is unbearable. But later on, when we are going to hear about Prahlad Maharaj, he was like tortured to death by his own father in multiple attempts, but he was not disturbed. So Krishna talks about that in Bhagavad Gita, dhira, sober, steady. So anytime I have some tinge of material contamination in my thoughts, in my activities, then there is going to be disturbance. But even when there is disturbance, the pure devotees are dhira, sober and steady, and they are not disturbed. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very nice point. Anyone else? Any other comments or questions?
Hare Krishna. Dhanvat everybody. Look at the situation at present. Whole world is disturbed, isn't it? I was just talking yesterday to the devotees in India. Even in India now, the divorce rate is gone up in this present situation. And we see what's happening in the planet. But look at the devotees here. We are sitting here and we are discussing Srimad Bhagvatam. And at present, ISKCON devotees so much on the Zoom, and so much things are going on among the Hare Krishna devotees. Hearing more, chanting more, even though physically we are not together, but it's Krishna's such an arrangement, and we are so fortunate that we are able to do this on this planet, Hare Krishna devotees. And just the Hare Krishna devotees this morning I saw millions of plates of prasadam Hare Krishna are distributing on the planet, in India and here, everywhere, other places. So this is what devotees see, that how it's helping us to be connect with each other and that is the glory of this whole communication which is going on, and we are using it in a positive way. Otherwise, the other people who don't know, they are suffering heavily suffering. So it is our job to help them whatever we can. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Okay, let's read the next one, text 7. Would someone like to read, please? Someone who has not read today or not spoken yet. Vijaya Mataji, you want to read, please?
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Tasya chopasamam puman videhi yadi manyase lokana yavanam kshayanti baliharaha tava vibhuhu. Translation. O great person, chief of the universe, if you think it power, kindly stop this disturbance meant to destroy everything before all your obedient subjects are annihilated.
Thank you. So the demigods are requesting to stop this disturbance, but a very nice words are used. Yadi manyase. If you think it's the right thing to do, then please help. And it's a good sign that Krishna or devotees don't want to intervene in the divine will. So even if we pray, let's say for someone's health, for someone's well-being, like how Prabhupada would say, that, okay, you can pray, you can do kirtan, but you can say, Krishna, if you so desire, you can give a few more years to our spiritual master. Krishna, if you so desire. So here demigods are showing the same thing. Oh great Brahma, if you so desire, if you think it is proper to do, then please stop this. Because the world is getting annihilated because of this harsh heat. Everyone is disturbed. The demigods are disturbed, what to speak of the lower beings. So whenever we offer any prayer, oh Krishna, give me this, well, that means we're trying to force our will upon Krishna. Not a very healthy idea. But if we say, Krishna, if you think it is appropriate for me, or if you think if it is good, then you can do so. If you think it is not good for me, then I don't want that. You know better. Your plans are perfect. Then whatever you will do, I will accept. So even if we have to pray, we can always add this yadi manyase, if you think it's proper, if you think it's right for me. Otherwise, let's say if I'm praying, Krishna, I lost my job. Can you please give me another job? I really want another job. But if you think it's proper for me to get another job, Krishna, please do so. But if you think I get a job which will take me away from bhakti, His Grace Anandavindavan Prabhu says this. Krishna, don't make me a millionaire or billionaire if you think that money will take me away from you. I don't want that money. I don't want that anything material which will take me away from you. So if you think it's proper, you can do it. Otherwise, it's fine. I will accept whatever you choose for me. Any other comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranam. Yeah, very nicely explained. And also I trying to remember, one senior devotee was telling, always don't pray Krishna what you want. Because Krishna knows very well that, what you want, he knows better than you. And always pray, asking for strength to withstand, so that you can still remember Krishna at the time of this, tragedy or, difficulty. So I remember that point, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Anyone else? Other comments or questions?
Yes, like Srila Prabhupada prayed when at the Jaladuta, make me dance, make me your puppet, make me your instrument, so I can carry out this most impossible task. Back to you, Prabhupada.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, last verse for today. Subrat Prabhu, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you. Hare Krishna devotees, Pandit Kona. Text 8. Tasyayam kila sankalpascharato duscharam tapa suyatam kimna vidistas tavathapi niveditam. Translation by Divine Grace Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hiranyakashipu has undertaken a most severe type of austerity. Although his plan is not unknown to you, kindly listen as you submit his intentions. So it will be known in the next text maybe. What is the intention?
Thank you. So, another good quality which is seen in the attitude of demigods here is their approach of humility. We can understand from the words used, niveditam, nivedan, is my humble request. The word used, kindly listen. So, it shows that the demigods have approached with a very humble state. Although Brahma ji, is also Trikalagya. His plans are not unknown to you, but still they want to share that. So which also shows that Brahmaji is again not an ordinary person. He is Trikalagya. He is very, very powerful. Therefore, the demigods, the demons, they approach him for different types of help, etc. So we will pause here. We can meditate until tomorrow. The whole world is in distress. A good meditation. And then how can intensify to take shelter of Krishna and his pure devotees. And we will see what the demigods put forward in and how they describe the intentions of Hiranyakashipu to Lord Brahma. So we'll stop here unless anyone has any quick comment. Okay. Grantraj Srimad Bhagvatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhaktavinda ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubheva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Anantakoti Vaishnavavrinda ki jai. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.